Hey everybody, so recently we've been seeing a lot more Dragon Ball Z movies in the works. We've been seeing the Battle of Gods and also the new Dragon Ball Z movie for 2015, but today I've got a list of my top 5 Dragon Ball Z movies that I would like to see made. 5 movies that would go up to my top favorites of Dragon Ball Z movies if they were made, how I envision them. Let me know in the comments section below what you think about these and also what movies you would like to see. You can make a response to this or just comment or anything like that. But the top 5 for me, starting off at number 5, we see at the ending of Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm talking about, it's the same thing. We see Goku flying off with Oob to train him, and that's it. We see in GT that Oob gets a bit of development there, but of course that's all negated because that's filler, none of that is canon, and on top of that, since the creation of Dragon Ball Battle of Gods with this God mode that pretty much even further negates everything in Dragon Ball GT, I think that that's a loose end that really needs to be tied up. So number 5 is Oob. I want to see some development of the character Oob. I want to see Goku training Oob. I want to see what Toriyama had in mind for the character of Oob when Goku is flying off to train him. I want to see Oob's potential in the mind of Toriyama. I said that in one of my recent Otaku Tuesdays. Number 4 is actually something that I mentioned in a previous video as well. These two are the only ones that I've ever mentioned before, but number 4 is Useless Yamcha, which I actually have a video about. I'm not going to go too much into detail about that. You can watch the video and see my entire thoughts for the whole movie there, but it's basically a movie which is explaining how Yamcha got so useless because he used to be a very useful and strong character. He actually beat Goku at one point. Granted that Goku was like 7 years old and he was hungry, and then on top of that, he saved Goku by chopping off his tail in the beginning of Dragon Ball. He was actually a very useful and good character to the series. He actually had some depth to it, aside from what we see in Dragon Ball Z. He really changed a lot, so the Useless Yamcha story is pretty much a parody thing that I made, talking about if they had made a video explaining how Yamcha got so useless. Moving on to number 3, Piccolo is my favorite character out of the Dragon Ball Z timeline, but when I was watching the original Dragon Ball series, there was a part here that really stuck with me that I wanted to see more of. This was Piccolo growing up, because in Dragon Ball, after King Piccolo dies, we see young Piccolo Jr. going through towns and people are afraid of him, calling him a monster and everything, and he pretty much destroys towns and everything like that, but it looks like his backstory would have some sort of sadness to it, that you would see everyone looking down on him. He's just a little kid. He doesn't know any better. He's young and he's walking around. Everyone's treating him like a monster. I want to see him growing up in that, and also brief things from the time skip in between the ending of Dragon Ball, where Goku gets married, and the beginning of the Dragon Ball Z Saiyan Saga. Number 2 is a movie that is completely comedy, and there are 2 different ways that this idea could pan out. 2 different types of movies, but they're both at number 2. That is the backstory of Master Roshi. We saw some of this in the Dragon Ball series, where we go back and see how he was training and how he had the rival at his martial arts school. I want to see some of that, but I want to see other things about him perving about, and just being the funny character that Roshi is. Even if we do get something where it's an old Master Roshi just doing what he does and being really funny, in my opinion, Master Roshi is one of the funniest characters in the series. It's between him and young Goku. They were hilarious, but I think it would be great to either see a backstory of him when he's young, or maybe one when he's old. That's fine too, I wouldn't mind either way, but this other story that I would like to see of Master Roshi is kind of like this parody story with the adventures of Jackie Chun. I really loved the Jackie Chun character that Master Roshi played in the first World Martial Art Tournament, and I really think that it would be great to see more of Jackie Chun as a character, just because Roshi's a lovable character and Jackie Chun was a great parody character in the series of Dragon Ball. Moving on to number 1, we've got another throwback movie, which is The Adventures of Goku. I believe right after the first or the second World Martial Arts Tournament, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly, where Goku is sent on an adventure. I think it's after the first World Martial Arts Tournament, where Goku is sent on an adventure around the world. That's where he meets Tien. That's where he goes from village to village, meeting people and saving people and things like that. I really want to see a movie that fills in those gaps. Sure, we see some of the things that he does, but he travels the world, so I guarantee you that there could be more that you could squeeze in that timeline that we've never seen. Because, first of all, young Goku was a very lovable character, my favorite character out of the overall Dragon Ball timeline, and I really liked the way that he was just traveling around. He was so innocent and he was saving people. Really great moments to me, such nostalgia. That's my top 5 list of Dragon Ball Z movies that need to be made. Leave me your thoughts about this in the comment section below. What are your top 5 or any ideas that you have? Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to, of course, subscribe, comment, like it, and also share it with your friends. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.